You are not meant to be burnt out and exhausted. You are made to be risen up, to rise up as a human being and to be lit with from within. And I think when you see people out there that are living their best life and living in that way, it's almost annoying to some people if you're burnt out, right? Because it's something that you see within them that you want. So if you're annoyed, you have to think about what about that is something that I don't like about myself. And it's about being empowered and not exhausted people. So think about what that new model is for working moms, for women in general. There's not a badge of honor to be beat down at the end of the day. I feel like that's what it was for my mom's generation, the boomers, and they're kind of resentful for it now. I think I see that in how they're living now. They all kind of feel like now is their time because they didn't have that when they were younger. So what I would say is don't wait till you're in your 70s or 80s to claim your life back and to live the way you want. So if you are constantly tired, and we talked about this way before, this is the constant resonance that I get from every single person, I'm just exhausted. And it's not because you're weak. It's not because you're not doing enough or you're burning the candle both ends. It's because your model of success probably needs a change. Like you need to have a conversation with yourself about what really are you going for and what are you working for. I would say you just need an upgrade, a reboot, right? And today we're going to redefine productivity and success for working moms in particular, because this is a place I think where I see it the most in moms, because we're doing so much and we want to be the best mom and the best wife and the best employee or business owner or the best salesperson. Everything is about being the best, achievement based, right? So the main points is about burnout is really an energetic problem. Like there are people that seem to do so much and they're so happy, right? And you're wondering, how is that possible? How are they not burned out to a point where they're like, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore, because they're so passionate about what they do. It's almost like if they get recharged from doing the work, right? They're not burned out. So it is an energetic problem. It almost seems like they're superhuman. They can do so much more. The second is it's really just not a time management thing. I teach a time blocking class. I understand I have time block and budget. It's really an energy management thing, because there have been weeks where I don't even know how I made it through the week, but I didn't feel exhausted at the end of the week. I felt really excited and energized because I was doing all the things that I wanted to do and I loved and it light me up and make me happy, even though I may have been getting very little sleep. So that's really interesting if you really think about it. They're looking for signs that you're in survival mode is really important to think about. Like, are you reacting? Are you short-tempered? Is everyone like, what's your problem? Like, are you getting into fights? Are you getting into car accidents? Are you getting speeding tickets because you're rushing from one place to the next? Like those are symptoms and signs of you rushing and not taking the time you need. Do you always feel like your heart's racing? Do you don't have excitement about what you're doing? You have dread every day. You don't want to get out of bed. Constant just physical exhaustion and breaking down. I think a lot of women feel this and they think they have like fibromyalgia or these horrible autoimmune disease, which is they may be contributed because of all this lack of energy they may have, you know. Just curious, because no one seems to understand where these diseases come from, and they seem to really attack women mostly. I think the biggest thing is about how do you build and continue to build the empowered model for yourself. It's different for each individual, and understanding that you are unique and the way you do something is different from someone else, and that's okay. So you don't have to go, well, I'm doing it this way, and because I'm not doing the way my friend's doing it, it's wrong. Every person has their own model, and I think you should be okay with that and be excited and embrace the fact that you're different, because we're all so different. Protect your mornings. There are times that I protect for myself, that I need to get things done, or I just don't give that as an option for appointment times for clients in my sales or my coaching clients, because that's the time I have for myself or my family. Understanding how to protect that and anchor your energy first is one of the biggest clues I can say to reclaiming your life and what you want, and energy, like keeping your energy for yourself so you can restore it. And then grounding rituals, creating expansion blocks would be really big. How do you expand time is you chunk things together so you're not like running from one place to another, and understanding where do you need to put certain blocks. So I coach on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays mainly. Once in a while I'll do some things on Friday, but Mondays I don't coach unless it's a makeup week for something like big travel times I had. I really like to reserve Mondays for meetings, sometimes launching listings, conversations, or if I have a long weekend, I have that Monday off. And I know in the back of my head, I have that week, that day off for myself from going to running around with my head chopped off. So that would be an example for me. And learning how to say strategic no's. Not sure if you ladies understand that. A strategic no would be no to that because you're saying yes to this, right? No to that trip because you want to go to this trip would be an example of that. Understanding where your focus is, and sometimes you may need to have a getaway with your husband or spend some one-to-one time with your children. So you're going to say no to this, you know, your girlfriend's doing something, you know, and not feeling guilty over it, or vice versa, or maybe saying no to your parent, your family, because you just need some girl time. Like that might be an example of it. So that's a strategic no to understand how that's going to help you propel you and give you more energy. Or if you're just tired and you don't want to go to a dinner, don't go. Like, I think we don't need to say yes to everything in life. And sometimes like understanding that you will always exactly be where you need to be and trust that what's meant for you will always find you. And so if you're too tired to go to the dinner, whoever you're supposed to connect with, you'll find another time for that where you can show up as a better version of yourself. Another big thing to think about would be success redefined, understanding how are you defining success? Gosh, when I started in the business, it's a little over 11 years now, I really wanted to be number one. I just wanted to be number one, and I ended up being Rookie of the Year, and it was such a great feeling, and I loved every minute of getting that award and going on the stage and beating everybody, but that was like literally 20 minutes worth of that. And then after that, I was like, okay, here we go again. And then I made it able to be top 100 and doing all these things with achievement and making money. But when you really think about it, it really didn't matter because it didn't mean that I was a better person or a better agent. It just meant that I won something. And I had to really think about, is that what's making me happy, or is that what I think is making me happy? So I think those are the kind of conversations you need to have with yourself versus like, you know, I want to make enough so that I can spend time with my family and have free time to pursue the other things I'm interested in personally and not feel that I'm working constantly all the time and I don't have any time off. And I realized in the building of that, it was like more. It was like a drug of wanting to achieve more. And so I would say, figure that out for you. If that's what you want, then that's great. I'm not trying to judge that because everybody wants different things, like I said. But for myself, I realized it wasn't what I really wanted. I think that I thought I wanted that. And I was at a different point in my life. And now I'm older and I see like retirement coming at some point and my other years of life coming with my spouse, my husband, and one day hopefully being a grandmother. And I don't want to miss out on this time that I have with my 7-year-old now, my 16-year-old, and my 18-year-old. I want to be present and want to enjoy my life day to day. I want to work out. I want to see my friends. I want to be with my pets. I want to sleep. I want to travel and enjoy my life, not just win. And that's something I made a decision for myself. And so every person has to make that decision and be okay with it. I don't need people to clap for me anymore. I want to clap for myself. And that's kind of one of the realizations I've learned through this whole process. And it's a really good feeling to be at that place. So that's why it has triggered me to want to kind of talk with you about maybe that's you, maybe it's not you, but at least figure that out for yourself. And it's about thriving and not surviving. That's a really, really big thing to think about. Like, are you really thriving in what you're doing in life and as being a mother, a wife? Are you thriving in your life, in your brain space? Or are you just playing the persona that other people want to see, but inside you're dying inside? And it's really sad if you have to live a life like that, because this life is not meant for us to be like that, walking through the motions. It's about living fully daily, and at the end of the ride being like, wow, that was a life well lived, not what have I done and having all that regret. So I highly recommend thinking about that and just having those check-in questions for yourself. I think that's why I love doing my Sunday reset and my Sunday review of like, how did my week go? What happened this week? What went well? What didn't go well? Did I have time for meditation? When I meditated, were my days different than when I didn't meditate? Things like that. Like, when did I not show up how I wanted to show up? When did I react to things and why? Was I hungry? Did I not sleep well enough? Eating is a really big deal. I'm one of those people that if I don't eat, I get really grouchy, like they hangry. So I know that about myself. So I'm not going to be around people and in stressful situations or decision situations and be hungry. So I've learned to have like low-fat cottage cheese, good cottage cheese. This is the brand I love, by the way. And just like good snacks and fruit and water and smoothies so that I don't have that low blood sugar and I don't snap at people unnecessarily, because it's hard to take things back and then you feel guilt and there's this whole circling cycle of that, right? I am protecting my future self by knowing how I behave when I'm hungry would be an example. In closing, like, you deserve to thrive as a human being. You just deserve to thrive because you're here, because you're a soul and you're a child of God. And you are not just meant to survive and like be moving along and checking the boxes in life. Like, life's just too amazing. Like, don't take it for granted. Anybody that's on their deathbed probably would love an opportunity to do it over again. So don't be that person you look back and go, I whittled it away and I didn't do the things I wanted. That's a horrible way to live, right? Because it's so easy to look in hindsight of all the things you should have done, like rip that fear band-aid off and just go for it is what I would say. Just comment below. I'd love to know who feels empowered, who doesn't feel empowered. What are you going to do to empower yourself and not be exhausted? And shoot me a DM if you want a consult with me. Love to have a conversation and see how I can help you. Till next time, stay empowered and not exhausted.